Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn with me, by Omega, Turkey and the Turkey Plus mod. So in the previous episode we have worked heavily on improving the situation of Turkey, and I believe that we've actually done quite a lot. Actually, I cannot unpause it right yet because we have work to do first. We have slashed our debt, we have slashed our expenses, and right now we are at a situation where through the increased GDP we actually managed to lower the interest rate to, I think, an all-time low, 6.49%. However, at the end of December, one of the modifiers that we have over here is going to go away. Where is it? Turkish media. Oh, they're in opposition to us. Awesome. Oh, thanks for that. They lost their support and faith in us. This one, the Turkish monetary formation, is gonna go away. It's gonna severely increase the interest by 2 points, so the debt servicing is gonna increase, but it's also going to lower the unemployment quite significantly. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm not entirely sure what the effect is gonna be overall. Oh, and as I said before, stop unpausing the game, Alpha. We are actually going to switch our decision from going with GHP into the Halkin Party, because they are allied with the Kemalists, they hate the traditionalists, and yeah, I think that, all things considered, roleplay and everything, doing a shift to a technocratic government would be a good idea. I mean, the last time I tried anything technocratic related was in the Japanese Last Days of Europe playthrough, and the government collapsed within a few months because it just couldn't take the burden of I mean, it could take the burden, but it lost the parliament lost the trust that it had in the government. Trade agreement. Sure, please invest in me, Russia. I implore you. Now, what the game could really do to us to make me happy would be to bump up my recession to stagnation. That would be great. Civil war in Libya. Okay, here we go. The debt servicing has lowered significantly because we lowered the debt. So, Libya is now in a civil war. What started out as protest against Muammar Gaddafi's rule has developed into a full armed conflict. The protest started in the eastern part of the country, with people demanding more political freedom and improved living conditions. While Libya has the highest GDP per capita in Africa and one of the best human development index in the world, 1/3 of Libyans still live under the poverty line, and oil profits from the country's vast oil reserves mainly fall into the regime's pockets. The protest turned violent as Muammar Gaddafi ordered the military to intervene, and soon people were up in arms. The rebels have formed the National Transitional Council, which will serve as a transitional authority until Muammar Gaddafi lays down his arms and surrenders. Libya declared war on Libya. Well, that's fun. You guys enjoy that. You have that. While we continue on this. So, I'm eagerly awaiting the 30th of December to see what's gonna be the effect. A mafia hideout has been found out. Well, let's send in the police so that they can get killed, and we further strengthen the mafia. Wouldn't that be nice? 5.14, that is really nice. USA deploys predator drones in Afghanistan. The middle option is just so bad. USA deploys Predator drones in Afghanistan. The United States have deployed Predator drones in Afghanistan to target terrorist strongholds of Al-Qaeda. The escalation in Afghanistan starts a new age of United States military presence in the region. The drones are expected to provide intelligence and surveillance, enforcing the United States military operations in the country. That was such a bad choice. It's just better to, I guess when you want to choose the middle option, just choose the one to work with the mafias, because that it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and it makes you look like a fool. What should counterattack at the PKK? That goes by political power. Russia proposes the mutual investment treaty. Medvedev is the president, huh? Oh, I guess. No, Putin. Why did I see Medvedev on that picture? Did I just imagine that? Al Gore. It's kind of interesting that in almost every single playthrough I have, Al Gore is the president instead of Bush. Libyan elections. National Front of the Salvation of Libya re-elected. Sure. Okay, so the Turkish monetary reform is gone. Now let's see what's gonna happen. Oh god! I just said that, and the game actually did it for me. It increased consumer confidence, so we moved from recession to stagnation. Nice. Stability plus 3, construction speed increased, maximum migration rate increased, and productivity growth. And industrial conglomerates like us now more. That is amazing. Thank you for that game. That is just great. Alright, with all things considered, we are now at 1.4. Yeah, the unemployment dropped to 18.7. We're bleeding less money than ever. 2.8 to 1.11. It would still mean, yeah, we still need to do it. But now it's much less of a no, we have to do it. There's no other way we can make it happen. If we lowered you here, that's 0.3. If we lowered police down here, that's 4. That would still not be enough. No, we need to slash the pensions. I hate that. 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 But we don't really have a choice. That's the issue. The game is not asking me, it is just telling me that that's what's gonna happen. Alright, but that's the ledger. Ah, this one is it. Okay. I always have to go through the money symbol. This one will give it to me for free. Alright. So that's just how we have to do it from now on. And that's just how we are going to progress. So 3 more office sectors are going to be built soon, further increasing our GDP, further increasing our income. You guys did the 5 things I think you did, didn't you? It's not marked here, though. A little bit weird, but I mean, the game definitely did what it wanted to do, so. Okay, 1.3, it actually went down even further. That is actually really good. So let's speed it up a little bit while we wait for the accumulation of political power. Investment from Spain. Network infrastructure, alright. And United States announced the F-35 program. Interesting. Actually, with this, what's our current productivity increase? 1.068. Alright, that's still pretty good because we are now currently at 28.9 penalty. And it keeps dropping. I'm mostly interested in the corporate tax, because if we could get even a slight bonus. It's 30%, which is like 1.8 billion, which would be enough to actually deal with the deficit that we have. So eventually, if we can keep boosting our productivity, we will be able to move up the ladder with everything else, because we will be getting enough of a tax income. But right now we don't. How's the? It's already at 12. Doctrines available on the land. Satellites. Yeah, we're not gonna do that at this point. We're not even drilling our units, to be quite honest, because we just get it for the fuel. I keep buying it here for peanuts every few days. Okay, it's back to 7.46, but that's because the recession is gone. Wait, not the recession. What's it called? The reformation. The monetary reformation. GDP. You guys are gonna come. Yeah, additional ones are coming soon. 14 days and 64 days. So that's further gonna lower the unemployment rate. Investment from United States, network infrastructure, large weapon cache found. I mean, no, we're just gonna do this. I'm not willing to let them screw it up again, which they will now when they said it. No, they didn't. All right, good. At least the investment wasn't in vain. But the fact that we're having such issue with accumulating the power is just so annoying. And you just wait. PKK will launch an attack within a couple of days, just to take away even more political power from us. But hey, it's cool. I mean, do it, game. I double dare you. Okay, so we have definitely now committed to the Hawking Particy. Alright, so we have a new focus tree. So here's the Cyprus. That one remained the same. The foreign policy. Launched a technocratic government. What is here? Sectorial campaign. Awesome. They actually have a different one here. COVID. So this is for the industry. This is for foreign policy. This is for what? Scientific or economist group. Victory of the economical movement, victory of the scientists. So we'll have to think about that one. And here we have the political one, the educational strategy. Okay, so what's going on here? The Order of Technology, the General Reform Plan, Chamber of Innovations, Research SWOT, nice. Turkish forums, more political power, HP support. Support for non-aligned referendum, support and more. Stability, pain. Stability, political power and more support. Stability, political power. Political power, but they lose 200. Now we gain 200, they lose 2% of support. So we have to be careful about that one. Here's the last one. Stability, political power, political power, political power, support. So this one we'll have to do at the very last moment, or after we actually pass through the parliament, because I think this one is going to be opens all the focus sections in this technocratic path. Yeah, we'll need the parliament to grant us the Reading roll. Alright, the Order of Technology will give us 100 political power. So even if we fail at gathering it in 70 days, we're gonna be definitely moved there. The Maoist campaign. Root out the traditionalists. Avian earthquake. Alright. So let me see. Where are you guys? With these new ones. So the geologists. NATO. Maoist campaign. Root out the traditionalists in the state. Remove traditional opposition. Alright, that's actually a good one. Hold on. What is going on here? This is a little bit weird. Root out the traditionalists in a state. This one remove traditionalist opposition. The traditionalist campaign. Remove Maoist loyalties in Antalya. Okay, gotcha. So the sectarian wars are now actually fully in progress. So the traditionalists are trying to take over these areas. And green are unaligned. Green cities are traditionalists. Reds are Kemalists, and purple, by Kurds. Okay, so we actually do need to invest in these ones quite significantly. Alright, and we'll need to just break them somehow. Alright, so first things first. We need to look at the Afyon earthquake. The Afyon province of Western Turkey was struck by earthquake measuring 6.5 MW. That's not megawatts. What is that? I'm not sure what kind of units of measurements this is. On 23rd of February 2002 at 10:01, it had a maximum felt the intensity of 8, severe, on the modified Mercalli intensity scale. It damaged hundreds of buildings and caused the death 44 people and further 380 injuries. Alright, so we stabilize the budget, then we move and start fighting the good war here, because we eventually do want to get the... Yeah, I think that once we remove everyone, we are going to get this one possible, and it's going to give us 15 stability. That's actually crazy, and we need that one. Alright. Okay, fuel-wise, not doing great. But yes, we further increased the GDP, which increases... Yeah, look at that, we're only $1 billion in negative. Still, that's $1 billion that we do not have. So we really need to do this one. Major terrorist attack on the US East Coast. New supporters from the United States have brought to our attention a major terrorist attack on the East Coast. The hijackers, most likely members of Al Qaeda, used the commercial airlines American Airlines Flight 11, United Airlines Flight 175, and an American Airlines Flight 77, and United Airlines Flight 93 as flying bombs against the United States. Early morning today at 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City, shortly followed by the Flight 175 hitting the South Tower at 9:03. At 9:47, Flight 77 hit the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The fourth plane, Flight 93, the passenger tried to retake the plane from the hijackers but failed. The terrorists managed to keep the plane in the air and eventually crashed into the side of the Capitol building at 10:23. This is a horrible day. Diplomatic response to the World Trade Center attacks. The United States of America was deliberately and suddenly attacked by the enemy terrorist combatants. As the United States is preparing for its diplomatic and military response to the attack against the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, the Turkish foreign minister is increasingly pushing for the government to release a firm and decisive statement on the matters. We stand with America no matter what. Condemn the attacks, but don't make promises. This is what happens when you interfere with other countries. Condemn the attacks. Alright, our stability is slightly increasing. We are now at 6%. So we just need to continue with that. And investment offer from Spain is welcome. Situation is manageable, but I would really like it if they started, Okay, another office sector in northern Anatolia. I'm so happy that we actually lowered the unemployment to 15.7%. It's actually really good. Friday prayer sermon stirs political debate. At sermon recently, a Friday prayer imam recently gave his opinion on matters the government should do differently, and those in attendance overwhelmingly agreed with his political takes. There was a mix of praise and grievances, and news of the imam's political takes have been growing ever more popular in the nation. Address and implement some of his suggestions? Ignore him, he's out of his mind. Well, we're gonna ignore him, and we get improved computing. And the GMOs. So productivity now increases by 1.25 every month. So we're gonna go with the 3D wax printer, as we said. A 3D wax printer uses wax and other forms of thermoplastic materials. And we wanted you to do the advanced computing, but it's ahead of time. Alright. You just give monthly population, you give monthly population, but I guess there's nobody here that would increase the productivity? No. Fuel gain prefer fossil oil. Wow, if you get 20 extra percent, that's actually gonna be quite major. You know what, let's get this one. In the long term, this is a very improved situation and a very important one for us. Improved reclamation methods allow refining fuel from byproducts. 20%, that is major. That's gonna solve our issues in a significant way, and we would have so much daily gain that we would be in a nice positive for a long time. Alright, buy more fuel. 245. 5 more. And then we can actually start using this one to fight the sectarian war. The war on terror. A fortnight after the East Coast terrorist attack, Al Gore held what might be the most defining speech of the early 2000s. They talked about internal and foreign policy and made a declaration of for us or against us by exclaiming the following: every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. From this day forward, any nation that continues to harbor or support terrorism will be regarded by the United States as a hostile regime. Is a war coming? Alright, and there we go. So behold a surplus. Let's repay this, and now we're gonna start repaying the debt. Very slowly, gradually, but we need to do it. GDP further increased. Productivity keeps increasing, so we should effectively see this one increasing all the time, especially as we're gonna be investing every single thing that we gain to repay the debt. South Sudanese rebels crushed. The latest episode of the Sudanese ethnic conflict has come to an end as the Sudanese government has crushed the rebels in the southern parts of the country. This will leave Omar al-Bashir free to continue his Islamization and Arabization of the country, much to the dislike of the southern Christian and animist population. Alright, so we're gonna accept the offer of the investment and the PKK. Well, we have to fight them. There's no other way. But yeah, unemployment 16.1 is bad, but this is good. The issue is now stability again, is that, you know, just bonkers. How's the sector? If we could get rid of the sectarian wars, we are actually gonna get so much out of that. That's crazy. So let's look at it. Where the hell? Is it all the way down here? It is all the way down here. Okay, we can stabilize the sectarian votes again. So we'll do that. The next one gives us also political power. It does, and stability. Then we're gonna do this one. This one offsets each other. Alright. So sectarian votes it is. So I need to the Maoist campaign. The terrorists are growing stronger. Libya declared war on another one, Nationalist Transitional Council. Kutra. Tibesti. Non-aligned autocrats. Rally for Congo is democracy took 8 states. Okay, Libya is fracturing. But if you have to make a plan here, so they are going to take over a state. We can literally just root them out and then start the Maoist campaigns. It's expensive, but yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive. Detectives discover a mafia hideout. Serbia joins the UN. You know what? We need political power. We'll just leave them alone. So this one is useless for us, to be quite honest. We just don't want that one. We want to... We could root them out. Because they will try to get us, so we'll need to do 2 or 3 times rooting them out and then just launch the Maoist campaign at the same time. Network infrastructure in Central Anatolia, I'll take that. Netherlands proposed trade agreement, I take that. Power dynamics is shifting. High-level summit between Turkey and Bahrain. Following weeks of backdoor negotiations, Turkish President Bülent Ecevit has arrived in Bahrain to meet his counterpart, Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Many see this summit as the first step towards greater Bahraini-Turkish cooperation, possibly heralding a significant change in geopolitics in the Middle East and a notable increase of Turkey's regional influence. Yeah, the income is increasing. That is amazing. Keep doing that, because soon we are gonna start getting issues. People are gonna start protesting and forcing us to actually increase our investments. Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me? Turbulence in Cyprus. The Greek government is not very cooperative with us regarding many problems, but this the case even more so when it comes to Cyprus. We will devise a strategic plan to get Cyprus on our side rather than Greece's, no matter the cost. Let's see what happens. Well, this kind of sucks because we've been basically castrated now. But at least the money situation is good. We just need to keep repaying it because that lowers the interest rate, which lowers the deficit, even if it's just by a little every single time we do that. Alright, order of technology is done. But it is, you know, it just moved us from minus 134 to minus 34. So the general reform plan, political power 25 and base stability. Show me what you got, budget. Show me what you got. Alright, so if we repay a week's income, does that change anything? Nope, but it repays it a little bit. So, alright, well, the good news is we've actually moved up. We now have a surplus. The negative part is that people are getting exceedingly rioty. We'll see how that's gonna go. We do not really have much of a space to do any further changes, but we're gonna go with these ones and use the political power to actually deal with this, the sectarian woes. Now the question is, to unite the people, we need a united Turkey, and I think that united Turkey would mean just not having anyone anywhere. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we will need 8 times 150 plus a couple of hundreds of 50s to, you know, root out the current traditionalists. It's not gonna be easy. It's a long-term thing. But the good news is there is a lot of political power that's gonna be to come around. So yeah, and stability should finally start increasing as well, which is currently costing us almost 30% of our political power. Anyway, thank you very much. See you next time.